Expo lighters. I do not have any acid though.
Okay, but you do have oil.
Yep.
Four flasks. Okay.
Everybody close Discord.
Mine's closed.
I don't have it open, I don't think.
Okay. Hey, Tom, do you remember getting any skill checks last session by chance?
No, I don't.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and do a luck check, see if you can increase your luck. You have a 50. I'll let these guys do their skill checks already.
I'm doing William Blackwood,
Yes, sir. Esquire.
Esquire. The third.
Oh, let's put that in there. The third.
Oh, can we just call you Trip then? I'm serious for Trip. Triple.
I think he goes by Bill, right, guys? Billy boy.
Really? Yeah. Oh, can you believe I made my luck. Great.
Billy Blackwood. Right. So I was just going over this, Tom, in Discord. I did a little foreshadowing as to how this session was going to start.
I saw something about chanting.
Yeah, creating a little suspense here. First, I said, lock and load, gentlemen. This session is going to be intense, and I guarantee you it's going to be pretty intense. The right
Okay.
thing. And I also reminded these guys about the TNT disclaimer. It's usually not a good idea to use TNT when you're underground somewhere, because that can be bad.
Unless you've got a portal out, like we did that one time.
Yeah, the demolition skill might help in that regard, but
Who needs skill? Just walk into the professional fight with no experience and start throwing punches. Maybe you'll land a lucky one.
Right, so here's where we start, guys. So you guys just found this chamber in the southern end of the cavern here that you've explored. Appears to be what you would think to be maybe a guard room for these serpent people. It's like they've been here. Now, as I said, none of you have seen serpent people. You've been told that there are serpent people down here. Except for perhaps Dr. Corso. He thinks that maybe he saw a serpent person last week up on that mountain. He's not sure. But hanging on hooks on the wall are what the father described to you guys as death rays. These things use sort of mechanisms made of crystal hanging on the wall. You guys managed to find the third part of the disc concealed in the room.
Who has that? Do I have that?
What you have just now bundled up. And it's sitting there on the floor. At that moment,
my backpack.
it weighs 100 pounds.
We're not going to leave it. Father was pretty clear how important these things were.
So all of you are looking at it and wondering, like, how are we going to get this thing out of here? At that moment, all of you at the same time begin to hear this faint sound coming from the passageway that leads out into the cavern main out there. And it sounds like some sort of chanting, and it grows louder as you're listening to it. It almost doesn't sound human, the intonation of it. Something very strange about it. And all of you know that sitting right outside the passageway here, just to the south of the mouth of the passageway that leads into where you are, is the huge slimy pit. Sounds like the chant is coming from there, because you can kind of hear it as it's coming from below as the ground begins to shake.
Let's get out of here, guys.
And buckle. And suddenly, all of your faces turn white as something monstrous and wholly evil invades your senses. The way I described it to these guys, Tom, it's almost like you feel like you've been zapped, like your brain or something, and this horrid feeling of evil and doom fills your senses as the ground beneath your feet begins to shake. You hear like the cracking of rock deep below you, and this immense crack, and you feel the vibration in the floor. And and the shaking begins to subside a little bit, but you still hear the voices from the pit outside growing louder and more intense. And it's just many voices chanting the same thing over and over again. It sounds something like Sigin wall Fuuln Shud Meel Nthrad Hafdranor Yog Sothoth Trad Fabunma Nilwagnaf Kada. And then it repeats.
And again, it seems like the origin of these voices are the pit itself.
Yes.
Okay.
So what if you dropped a stick of dynamite just down the pit?
You guys are now presently in the chamber where the red pin is there.
Yeah, well, what we can do instead of doing that, let's throw all 4 flasks of oil down there and ignite it. Boom. Then we don't have to worry about a cave-in.
Got it.
Sean has warned us about multiple times.
And I so blatantly disregarded.
No, I don't think you disregarded it, but
Tom,
seems like there's a lot of foreshadowing, and they're like, remember when you throw dynamite, you'll probably get clapped on. So.
Yeah. Hey Tom, I give you I hand you these 2 bundles of dust. They're called, it's the dust of Suleiman. It's effective against, I think, extraterrestrial beings.
How do you use it?
You throw it on them.
At that moment, the ground begins to shake and shudder again. And rocks, so pebbles and shit are falling from the ceiling far above on you guys.
We exit this.
Time to go.
Yeah, we exit this place, man.
And we head to this chamber over here to get out.
So,
are we gonna use the oil though? Are we gonna? You guys have a decent throw skill. Both of you could light flasks of oil and pitch them.
All right, yeah. When we get out in this room,
let's
we don't encounter anything because we have our rifles out first.
Yeah, well, we'll come to the entrance of the little. Right, we come to the entrance first, and then we'll pause. Right? Yeah, exactly. And we pause for a second. What's happening? What do we see?
As you exit the mouth of the tunnel, you shine your flashlights to the south, and you see the black opening in the floor over there. And coming up out of the opening, you see what appear to be several tendrils. They're like living worms, about 3 inches thick, pouring out over the edge of this pit.
Oh yeah, light that shit up.
And they're kind of doing like these S shapes in the air. You can hear there's definitely something moving far below in the pit.
We definitely burn it.
These tendrils are light in color, like a light gray, almost a white, and they appear to be very shiny in your light, as if they're covered with slime of some kind.
How big are they?
They're about 3 inches thick, and coming over the edge of the pit, they're probably about 12 to 15 feet long. There's several of them. And all of you stand there for a moment, just kind of in shock. As your jaws drop, and you see this in Bear's flashlight as he's shining it over there.
I say we hustle across the floor, guys. Let's get going. Whatever's coming out of there, we probably won't be able to handle.
Throwing oil as we go?
Sure, as long as it's not going to cost us any time.
The chanting is now getting extremely loud.
Right,
it's echoing throughout this immense cavern that you're standing here. There's stalagmites.
How far can we get across the floor here, man?
You're going to be running for the tunnel?
Yes.
Yeah, we're just let's not stop to do anything. Let's get out of here.
All right, everybody moving as fast as they can. I'll take it. Let's see here. Corso's got a move of 7. Blackwood's got a move of 5. Bear's got a move of 8. So Bear, you're the quickest among the group. Corso's kind of right behind. Mr. Blackwell, you're a little slow, lagging behind. As you guys are running, Mr. Blackwood, you have your sword cane in one hand and your flashlight in the other. and you turn around and shine your light behind you as you're running towards where you think the mouth of this tunnel is across the way. You can see the others are a little bit ahead of you, and they're kind of getting a little further ahead of you. But you shine your flashlight back behind you, and you can see more of these tendrils coming out of over the lip of this slimy hole, except these are much larger, a foot or more in diameter. Also covered in this sort of mucky, mucusy slime. And just then it goes out of range of your flashlight as you're running.
Thank God.
Bear, you reach the mouth of this tunnel up here. Okay, to the north. Corso, you're not too much further behind. You guys shine your flashlight back. You don't see Blackwell, and then he comes running into the light behind you.
I say we drop burning oil right there at the mouth of the tunnel and keep moving.
That sounds good. I'll bust one open and light it right there.
And we run.
All right, you hear this sound like breaking rock. This shattering sound comes from the cavern, and the ground briefly shakes. And you hear all you can really hear right now is just the chanting. It's all you can hear, even if you're trying, maybe one of you yells or something, but the din of the chanting is so loud at this point that it's almost bursting your eardrums.
All right.
You guys are running down the tunnel this way, right?
Yep.
All right, Blackwood, you're falling behind.
Oh, this time we're gonna stick together.
Oh wait, yeah, we were
along.
We'll put Blackwood in front so that we don't get in front of him.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's while they're lighting fire over here, I keep moving forward and I pull out my machine gun, and I head this way with the flashlight and the machine gun ready to open up on anything.
What do you have? A Thompson? Is that what you have?
Yeah.
Or the AK.
I got it from the guys from last adventure.
He's got Alessio's Thompson.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Blackwood's he collects rare weapons. He's one of those.
Yeah. Plus that one's known as the Witch Killer.
It is actually.
That's what's carved into it. Alessio carved that into it before he died.
Yeah, right. Right as he was going down.
It's got the stains of worms and marking on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Seriously.
Like his wood crafting skill is 150%. Like so he's like got like a penknife jammed in his hand, and as he falls, he scrawls the perfect message: "Witch Killer."
Tom.
Sure.
You begin among this chanting. You begin hearing your name.
Uh-oh.
It's saying William.
I go by Billy.
Yeah, I try to block it out. I start praying to the Lord. Father, look upon me. Get us out of here. And I start singing an old lullaby.
Corso and Bear, you notice Blackwood slows down to a walk. And this look on his face, his eyes are wide, and he turns and he looks behind him, and he's standing in the tunnel as you guys, kind of slow down. See, like, what the fuck is he doing?
We run up, man, smack him in the face and push him
Exactly.
forward.
Yeah. If he doesn't move, we grab him by both arms and drag him.
Snap out of it, man.
Am I conscious? What am I thinking, Sean? Am I conscious?
He's conscious after I slap him in the face. Snap out of it. Come on.
And then I swap and slap him too.
And we drag him.
Tom, make a power roll for me.
$60? No, 6? Oh,
Yeah,
You
extreme, man.
got an extreme success.
My powers. I am so powerful. We brush this spell off. Like,
William, this overwhelming urge overcomes you, and your muscles become frozen. You want to turn and run, but you can't. and you feel people pulling at you, and somebody actually slaps you in the face, and your legs are so frozen that all you feel you can do is just fall to the ground on your knees. So you guys are kind of pulling at him and shit, and his knees kind of buckle.
At that point, I grab under one arm, he grabs under the other, man. We are dragging his ass out of here post haste.
Okay. So as you guys are dragging him, William, you kind of snap out of it, and you find yourself being dragged along this passageway. By the way, it's very dark for the most part. You just see, the flash of these lights as you guys are running from your flashlights. But
Scary
you kind of wake up in this tunnel, and you're being dragged by your arms. And you look, and it's Bear and Corso dragging you down this tunnel. You don't remember. It's like you kind of blacked out for a minute there or something. But now you have your senses again. You guys can see up ahead with your flashlights the fork. The fork and passages. There's a passage to the right and a passage to the left.
All right, we'll head towards where we cleared out the debris.
All right, it's 100 feet.
I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, it'd be a much longer walk up the half-hour stairs.
Once we get out here, man, now this is the point where we might want to throw some dynamite behind us.
Yes.
Once we clear this fucking place, man, collapse that area.
As you guys are running down this tunnel, dust and pebbles are falling from the ceiling high above.
Jesus.
And the ground is still being rocked. There's this low rumble, almost beneath you. You feel, and after a minute, you can see, or actually, the first thing you would do is you kind of smell the fresh air, okay, and very shortly, you can see with your flashlight the opening of the tunnel out into the rubble outside.
Sprint.
And unconscious skin, right?
Yeah. Fortunately, we can put Blackwood back on his pegs and get him moving on his own volition.
All right.
Stick to the road, laddies.
So it's night. It's cool. And you can see out here as well, you can see like the rubble before you is kind of, making sounds. Rocks are rubbing up against each other. And I believe you guys have some horses tethered somewhere nearby.
Yeah, Lee, are you throwing that dynamite in the hole on the way out?
I don't have dynamite, and my throw skills suck, so someone else would have to do that.
Who's carrying the portion of the disc?
It's on my back, in my backpack.
Give me a Constitution check.
Uh-oh.
Nice, dude.
Okay.
Burly.
It's very, very heavy. Your pack is digging into your shoulders rather painfully, but you're still mobile.
I think about the pain as I pull out the stick of dynamite and I light it. And I throw a two-pack right here.
Well, you're right at the mouth. Yeah, you're right at the mouth of it.
And I yell, "Let's get the fuck out of here!"
You're throwing two sticks in there?
Irish accent. Hmm?
You're throwing 2 sticks in there?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So with a short fuse, I assume. So, as you guys begin moving out, towards where your horses are tethered, it's a good 50 or 60 yards out in this scrub out there. You have them tethered. Boom! The ground shakes, and you see this immense cloud of smoke and dust coming from the mouth of the tunnel, and it's completely collapsed as the dust kind of clears a little bit. You guys are just kind of barely seeing it, in the night. It's kind of a starlit night, but the moon's not out. You're relying on your flashlights more or less. It looks like it completely collapsed the tunnel.
All right, that's good. It's a good start for now.
The ground begins to shake.
To the horses.
It buckle again. You see not too far away from this pile of rubble before you, outside of that area, you see actually a crack open up in the earth.
Yeah, we get to the horses.
It
Yeah.
feels like a full
What the
blown
hell?
earthquake out here right now.
Jesus.
Yeah, we had a ride. This is Yog-Sothoth himself coming. He's been asleep underneath the ground for
Yeah, he's pissed off. We
eons.
woke him up.
So
And
you
this
guys,
temple's been built on top of him.
I just think of some giant snake creature.
you see
That's
the
what Corso. That's
so you
what
see-
Corso sees.
you hear it. It's like crack, and all of you point your lights over there, and you can see this crack opening up in the earth. And you're all like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And you turn around and you start running towards the horses. At this moment, you begin to hear the chanting, and this crashing sound from behind you. It sounds like gigantic rocks being smashed together back towards in the direction of the rubble. And it's kind of out of your sight now. You guys are running through the shrubs and shit. And again, Blackwell's falling behind. You're fucking lugging this hunk of gold in your backpack, and you're slowing down even more now. Give me another Constitution check for Tom. Blackwell.
Oh my god, dude.
Holy shit,
Critical make. Oh, dude, I'm like
Good.
cartwheel.
dude! You military press that thing while you're running.
Yeah, you guys are running, man. And Dr. Corso kind of looks back, at Blackwell, and he's got this sweat pouring down his face, but he's got this look of determination on his face. Oh, he's running as fast as he can, barely keeping up with you guys. And you see,
I'm
like,
never gonna be.
you see his pack is kind of falling off the side of his back, and he's trying to like fucking lug it.
He's like Green's Creeper Willie, man. He rips his shirt off and he shows his pecs.
And Dr. Corso, you see
He carries like gold out of there, man.
Corso as you're shining your light back at Blackwell. You see the sweat pouring down his face. Behind him, you see these tendrils moving along the ground behind him towards him.
Oh, dude.
Dude, throw some of
They're
that dust.
about that big around, and they kind of taper to a tip, and on the tip it looks like there's this like fluted kind of shape on the end of it, almost like a sucker pod or something on the end of it.
Mm.
Yeah, man.
Take
I
it
say,
slow.
I scream out, throw the dust, and I take my pack and I toss it on the ground, right next to me. Boom, and just explode it on the ground next to me, man. I suggest everybody do the same if they have it. You have some, Tom. I don't know if it'll
I'll
work.
throw the dust.
Throw the dust behind you. Just throw it behind your shoulder. Oh,
Yeah,
So-
like a
so-
spy hunter oil slick.
So Bear, you're out front, okay, and you're hauling. You see the horses, your lights catch a glimpse of the horses where they're tethered up there, and you
Yeah,
look
no one
behind you,
stop.
and you see Corso kind of slow down a little bit, and he pulls something out of his pack and like throws it on the ground, and this metallic dust begins filling the air around you. Behind Corso's looking over his shoulder at Blackwell. Blackwell's, he's got this look on his face like, he looked like a fucking grunt, like a Marine, hucking his rock up there. And behind him, you also, Barry, you see these tendrils, almost like they look like, at first you think they're snakes on the ground behind him, but you see them and they look more like tendrils or pseudopods or something like you'd see on an octopus.
Okay. Well,
And they're very close.
I'll take my hint from Corso, remembering he mentioned something about the dust being useful against something strange, not of this world. So this looks like that
Yeah,
situation. I throw it down.
This qualifies.
throw it on it.
Yeah, if I can throw it on, I
Yeah,
will
man.
do that.
Pitch it right as you're running, man. Pitch it right on them. Yeah, man.
So now the air is full of this metallic, like bluish dust. Everyone, you guys can see the horses. They're not too far away.
We're running, man. Running.
I imagine William, looking at Corso, and Corso's looking at him, and then Corso looks behind you, William, and he's like, his jaw drops. So you have to look behind you, and you can see on the ground coming after you are these things. They're right behind you, like 10 or 15 feet away, as you guys come up upon the horses. The horses are a little spooked as you get there.
I jump up on the back of the horse and go, yeah! We ride.
Dude, that one, you definitely like. Even Bear's impressed. Like, wow, that guy. I thought he was just like a guy who drank beers at the Moose Lodge, but no, he is hardcore.
All right, give me 1 second here.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Cool. Yeah, I like the Greenskeeper Willie look.
I do too, man.
You know what I'm talking about when he gets all mad. He's
Exactly.
like, "Ah!"
Exactly.
And he goes nuts, and he wrestles that wolf that one episode.
He has many good
Moments.
Yeah, he's a wild man. Look at that shed.
Dude, where did we get this salt stuff? This for these
From Dr. Corso, who has had some experience in the arcane weird world of Cthulhu, apparently.
Oh, so he knew what he was getting into.
Yeah, then well, you guys sent that letter, and when they sent it, they got in contact with the Knights of the Order, the Military Order of Malta. I'd had some experiences.
Ah, so they reached out, we networked, and we found somebody who knew something else about this stuff.
Yeah, there's some people in Malta that know what's up. And in the church,
Excellent.
Man, there's a lot of Simpsons references going on tonight.
Okay. So, well, you know what? You've got this disc in a backpack, Tom. So you're jumping up on your horse and going, yeah. So you guys see Blackwood, mounting his horse as you guys arrive. And Corso, you take one look, last look behind you, and you don't see anything in that moment.
I'm moving on the horse, man. We're
So you're getting on the horse, Bear. You're getting on the horse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Blackwood, amazingly, almost like an Olympic athlete, manages to jump onto the saddle of his horse. He's like, yeah, and the thing rears up like this. At that very moment, right before you, William, out of the ground, with this thundering crack, emerges this thing. It's gigantic. Your first impression is it looks like a land-bound squid. It has flowing tentacles and pulpy gray-black elongated sac of a body. You see its whitish grayish body kind of pulsating, and the whole thing is covered with this sort of iridescent slime. And your lights, it makes it look kind of shiny, in the starlight and in the light coming from your flashlights. And really, it has no distinguishing features other than its probably hundreds of reaching, groping tentacles.
Time to get out of here! If we can.
What is Bear doing?
Okay, so where... So it's just in front of us?
The first thing Bear's doing is making a sanity check.
Oh, okay. Sanity.
You've never seen anything like it. Bear, you've seen squids. You know what a squid is, and this thing looks, it's essentially like a land-bound squid or something.
I did not make my sanity roll.
It's horrifying. Oh boy. Need to roll a 1d20, Bear.
1d20?
Please.
Can I use luck?
No.
Damn. All right.
Good luck. Roll low.
Yay!
Nice. Yay.
Good. Look at that.
Wow.
The clincher. Or a clutcher. You rolled the clutch sanity throw. All right, you lose 3.
Oh my God.
What is Bear doing?
Okay,
in
so
the presence of this giant land squid, it rises about 12 feet up out of the ground. the circumference of the thing is probably, 20 feet.
All right, well, I'm going to throw more powder on it. Can I throw my powder at it?
You're reaching for powder. What is Dr. Corso doing? First thing he's doing is he's rolling a sanity check.
Okay. Let's see here.
Nice.
All right, Lee.
God damn, man. D20. That's a lot of sanity to lose.
That was a good roll, Kyle. Good for you.
Yeah.
Lee, Dr.
Excellent
Corso
roll.
loses 3 sanity.
Well, I'm worried about my compatriots here. Like,
Perhaps you guys don't really fully comprehend what's happening in this very tense moment, but Corso, you lose 3.
Okay.
First thing I guess that would cross your mind as a man of science is this must be a dream.
And I blast it, man, with my 12 gauge. I'm like, holy shit! Boom!
Because squids are aquatic.
Yeah.
That's what he thinks is
Yeah.
pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and roll to hit with the shoddy.
your damage roll's weird, dude.
Yeah, what's that shit?
What's up with that?
I don't know. It's probably something on your sheet.
Okay.
You clicking from the weapons list.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it does different damage at different range. Roll 4d6 damage.
Okay.
You're at close range. Nice. All right, so you're like, boom! Shoddy lights up the night. It's like a flash of lightning. And you see the shot hit the thing, and the slime, kind of this explosion of the slime and what it looks like brain material or something fills your vision for a moment. Blackwood, what are you doing? You need to roll sanity first thing, please.
Didn't I already roll?
No, you didn't roll, Tom.
Yeah. I just went, yeah.
Let me check. Nope.
Do I have to look at it? I thought it said yeah, and I took off.
It came up out of the ground right in front of you.
Right as I'm reeling the horse. Okay.
It's like a really disappointing pop-up book from...
So yeah, it's kind of the end of the round here. I need Blackwood to make the all-important sanity check here. And he makes it!
Woo! Yeah, baby.
You guys
Nice.
are lucky tonight.
I laugh at this thing.
On a roll.
Literally and figuratively.
All right, Blackwood, you lose 2 sanity.
Okay. So I start shooting and riding, dude.
All right, your
Oh,
horse
that's
is
right. You got the Thompson.
Absolutely.
Your horse isn't very responsive right now. You're gonna start off with the Thompson though, huh?
Yep.
All right. So the way this works, let's look at your dexterity real quick. It's on your token, or should be. So you have a dex of 45. So you can basically fire 4 rounds in each burst, right?
Okay.
And I believe Alessio used the drum magazine on it. You can fire up to 20 bullets per round in 4 bullet bursts. So we're looking at up to 5 bursts. And so the first burst, you have your normal chance to hit. Second burst, you get a penalty die. Third burst, you get 2 penalty die. Fourth burst, you get 2 penalty die, and you have to get a hard success, and so on. It gets harder and harder.
Got it.
If you hit, half of the bullets hit. So 2 bullets will hit for each successful SMG roll. So let's roll for your SMG skill for your first volley, as they call them.
Okay.
How many volleys do you want to fire, Tom? I mean, are you just going on rock and roll mode, or are you going to try to hit the thing?
Oh no, I'm gonna try to hit.
It's very close, for one thing.
And is it very big? If I just go rock and roll, do I have a good chance to hit it?
Oh yeah.
Man, unload on it, man.
What gives me a better chance to hit?
It's a small mountain in front of us.
What's
Just
that?
hold on, man. Talk about lighting up the night. Now it's like a fucking strobe light going off out here in the fucking woods.
Yeah, I need to find some Thompson 45 full auto sound effects.
Oh, Tom, you're spray it right in the octopus eyeball.
All right, so damage for the first file for 2 bullets is 2d10 plus 4. Use the d10 macro at the bottom of the screen there. There you go.
That's awesome.
I say in my headset, I've got the Thompson machine gun sound effects firing now.
Okay. SMG roll for the second volley. I'm gonna let you have a standard chance to hit again since you're so close and I think so big.
Oh,
Uh-oh. You rolled a
dude.
number. All right, so let's take a step back before the epic fumble. Your first success was an extreme success, Tom. So what that does, that counts as, remember the old impale? An old
Yes.
Call of Cthulhu? An extreme success with a firearm equals an impale, which is even better than double damage. So what you do is you do the damage that you rolled, which was 9, right?
Yep.
Plus the maximum damage of the hits, which was 2d10 plus 4. So it's 24. So you do the maximum damage of the bullets that hit, which is 24 damage, plus the roll damage.
Okay.
So check this out. That means you're going to do 32 points of damage.
Wow.
Not 9, because it's an impale, right?
All right, so it's taken 32 plus 14. Is that right?
Right around there, yeah. 2, 40.
Is it oozing out?
Okay.
Oozing fluid?
All right. So you open up with your Thompson, Tom, and this thing's not 8 feet away from you at this point. It's kind of rearing up before you, and you raise your Thompson and just start firing. At that moment, as you start firing, as I said, this thing has no real distinguishing features. All you really see are just these tentacles everywhere, and the sort of trunk-like body of the thing. But then you notice this lump in its upper body of the thing, and it looks like maybe a container of sorts, like maybe its brain or whichever diseased organ governs this whore's loathsome life. So you kind of kick back the Thompson, kind of start aiming for it, and as you hit it, you see this yellow fluid, it's like pus coming out of the thing, and then your gun jams. Click.
Oh, shit. Shoot the brain! Shoot the brain!
Shoot the brain.
Yellow! Good God, man.
And his tentacles are flailing. One of them actually brushes up against your arm, saying that we're back to Bear. What are you doing, Bear?
Well, did I get the dust out?
Yes.
All right, I throw the dust on it. See if that is effective.
All right, give me a throw roll. Let's see how close you can. I mean, you're actually pretty close to it already. I'll give you a bonus die.
Okay.
So click the gray.
What the? Okay, I'm going down the wrong thing here.
All right, so you throw the pouch. Well, you kind of open it up first, and then you're like, and you can see the silver metallic shit in the air. It looks like a puff of smoke almost, but it's all metallic flecks. It seems like. Dr. Corso, you got your shotgun. You're on your horse, and you got your shotgun pointed at this thing. And you notice out of the corner of your eye, these.
I lost you for a second there.
All right, well, let me reconnect here. It's always good. Can you hear me now, Lee? Can you hear me now, Lee?
I can.
Out of the corner of your eye, you catch some movement, and you kind of look, and you see these grayish white tendrils coming up out of these shrubs just to your right by your feet. coming from almost the opposite direction of this thing that you're looking at. What's Corso doing?
Okay, can you repeat that?
Tentacles in the shrubs over there to your right, close to your horse.
Not from this creature?
Doesn't appear to be. It's in the opposite direction of this thing. You just catch the movement out of your eye, this blur, and you look. And just in the starlight, you see these grayish white tendrils or tentacles, big fat glistening slimy things down in the shrubs. The shrubberies down on the ground, near the ground by your feet.
They're surrounding them.
Man, I blast with my shotgun. I'm like, boom!
Yeah, and by the way, this chanting is very loud again. They seem to be emitting from this thing, almost coming in two directions now.
I unload with my shotgun on it, man.
Your light
all right,
fire.
go ahead and roll.
Burn the forest down. Why does he laugh? They're all around it.
Burn it down. Burn it to the ground.
Burn it.
Burn it.
Whoa.
Dude.
All right, so boom.
That's going to be 4d6 damage, Lee. Shotguns, unfortunately, don't impale unless you're using slugs.
Nice.
All right, boom! You hit one of them, and these things are fat. They're like that big around. You hit one of them, and you see it kind of twitch and spasm as this oozy-looking clear fluid comes out of it. And now the chanting is almost overwhelming, you guys. It's your ears are kind of ringing with it. We're back to Mr. Blackwood, who's on his horse. Click.
Is there a path out of here, dude? I mean, it's
Gun jams. It's just a kind of a scrubby level area. There's a stream coming out of this natural spring not too far off from where you are.
But do I see these tentacles coming from out or surrounding us, or just there's like another one back there behind me? Where
well, you hear the gunshot. Your gun goes click. You hear the shotgun go off, and you look over at Corso. He's pointing into the shrubs nearby where he is. You don't actually see the tentacles though. Looks like he's shooting something over there somewhere.
Are they both coming from the mountain that we just escaped from?
This one before you is coming out of the ground, and it's flailing around now, and there's slime all in the air, and it's like sticking to your hunting jacket. A little bit gets on your face. It's like this gel or something coming off of this thing.
I start to ride.
You can see this yellow fluid continues to pour out of its wound where you just shot it.
I start to ride hard, and as I'm riding, I pull out my flare gun.
All right, so you're gonna try to ride away.
Yep.
I need you to make a ride roll. Can you do that?
I hope so. I was in the war. I should be able to ride. Let's find out if I was.
This horse is not. This horse is panicked right now. It's not having any of this. Yeah.
The only thing he did in the war was ride whores in Paris, Tom.
I did not ride well.
All right.
Oh, you rolled, dude. Do you have any luck? You rolled really well.
I used luck on that. Look at that. I got 11.
Sure.
You rolled really well, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
That up.
Okay. Use your luck. Your horse screams, Tom. Your horse just screams out, "Ah!" and it tries to buck you off, and you hang on for your life, and it bolts boom, out into the darkness in a direction that you didn't even tell it to go in.
So I'm on it still.
You're on it, but you're not controlling it.
Okay.
What's Bear doing?
Did I get the flare gun out?
So the dust didn't do anything to it. I'm gonna try to ride out of here, man.
All right.
And can I shoot at it while I'm riding away?
Sure. Let me roll for your horse here. Your horse is kind of like right by it. He's a little bit away here.
Got it.
Let's see if he can regain control of his horse here. See how brave his horse is.
Let's see. Okay, so make my ride roll.
Yeah, Bear, I'm gonna need you to make your ride roll because your horse is basically doing the same thing. It's bolting of its own accord in a random direction, and I need you to hang on.
Ooh, 18. I'll burn luck to stay on that thing. 13
Look at
points.
that. Yeah, both of you guys get low rolls on that.
Nice.
All right, Bear. So you hang on to your horse. He almost bucks you off. You feel your ass come off the saddle, and you're like, whoa! And you fucking grab onto its mane as it bolts away into the darkness. So now, Corso, you see these guys go riding. They ride out into the night. You don't see them anymore.
We were riding out whether we wanted to or not.
Yeah, Corso, you see this thing not too far away from you coming out of the ground, and the chanting is filling your ears. And now you also notice this yellow, it's covered in like this yellow pussy looking fluid. And you see it begins to recede back into the ground slowly. It's crawling almost like an earthworm back down into this hole. At the same time, you look over and you see more of those tendrils out there in these shrubs not too far away from you. Chanting coming from that direction as well. What's Corso doing? Hang on.
Hello?
Thanks for the sound effect, Kyle.
Okay.
All right,
Can you-
I'm back. I think I lost you for a second there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
sweet. Yeah. So,
So you hear chanting coming from the direction of these pseudopods down there in the bushes near you. The other two have ridden off into the night.
Yeah, so I'll move away from the chanting and the pseudopods, and I'll ride after them.
Okay, your horse is also freaking out.
Is it? God damn it!
Let's see how freaked out he is.
Come on, Bear, talk to him.
GM roll. See, I can roll dice to myself so you can't see it.
I'm clasping the crucifix, my ancestors' crucifix.
All right. All right, so you kick your horse in the ribs with both feet, and the thing it fucking darts off in the direction you saw those guys going, and now you're riding through this shrubland, okay? And you catch up to these guys. All three of you guys now are just riding through the night, okay? And it's just starlight, so it's pretty dark. Your horses are kind of moving through these shrubs, avoiding trees. There's a couple of gullies and ditches and shit that they have to jump over. And you're all looking behind you like to see if these things are coming after you, and you're not sure. This moment, everybody give me a spot hidden.
Hooray! Yay!
Yay.
Good job, everybody.
Yeah, we all see it.
Wow.
Look over there.
I see it already. I see it.
All three of you, as you're riding, up in the sky, off to the northwest, you see at first what you think are these birds flying up above the trees, a little ways off to your left, as you're riding. And you all kind of point at the same time, looking at these things. And you can see right off, it doesn't take too much time to realize that they're not birds at all. They appear to be large insects, like moths or butterflies, or maybe like flying grasshoppers, except there's like the size of a pony, all three of them.
Dude.
All right, well,
Everybody give me a sanity check again.
yay.
Ooh.
The spirit of 76 is strong, my friend.
Oh, what the hell's up with that?
Looks like a glitch. I think we should re-roll.
Bear, lose one. Tom, roll a d6. You'll see why in a moment.
It's not 5, man. 5's the critical break point.
Also, Dr. Corso rolled d6. Tom, you lose 4 sanity.
Copy that.
Lee, you lose 2 sanity. As these things approach you, you guys hear Mr. Blackwood audibly gasp as these things fly down towards you. They indeed appear to be something like a grasshopper, but not quite. They have these heads that look like almost like canine looking, but with these longish snouts and these glittering black eyes like spiders. And they have what appear to be several arms, and they're almost like ant arms with these claws or pincers on the ends of them, as they swoop down from the sky at you.
Wait. When I first saw them far away, I was going to do something.
Okay. Well, now you'll have a chance to do something. Let me see here. Let's go to the top of the order here, Mr. Corso.
It's like the frickin' Wild West in the Highlands of Scotland, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, this is.
This
like
is wild. This is
Riding through the woods at night, seeing the things coming down from us,
blasting into the air,
wiping the yellow goo off my face. Raw.
Indiana Jones would be proud, man.
Mm-hmm. Let me get this set up real quick.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
All right. Oops. Plugging in their dexes here. All right, let's see what we got. What are the others showing on the thing here?
Can we do something before they attack? We saw them from far away. We spot hidden them.
Yep.
Getting
There, you
nervous.
see these things. They seem to be coming towards you very quickly. What are you doing?
Oh, I opened fire with the elephant gun. Boom!
It's gonna be a hard shot from horseback.
I'm clearing the jam in my gun.
I'm gonna require at least a hard success firing from horseback for you.
We're not getting away from these things.
I don't think so.
Right. There's no fleeing. These things are super fast, right? I mean, they're gaining on us. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're like fucking locusts coming down at you.
Okay.
The size of horses. They move. They kind of move like bees too. They're like. Bzzz.
So
that.
stop your horse and fucking wail on these things.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stop and shoot.
All right. So one barrel goes off. Boom. Doesn't look like it impacted.
You mean it hit and it didn't do anything?
No,
No, I
and he
told-
needed a hard success, so.
Okay. I gotcha.
From horseback, especially with that big clunky weapon.
I gotcha.
They're still a little ways away. Probably short range for an elephant gun, but still. Blackwood, what are you doing?
Is my gun unjammed?
No.
Oh, I clear it.
All right, it's going to take a couple rounds. At least one.
I go quickly.
One, maybe two.
All right.
Corso, what are you doing?
So I'll dismount my horse to the opposite side where these things are coming and fucking use my horse as like a barrier and have my shotgun right there. I'm
Like a
fucking
shield?
ready for him. Yeah, like a shield. I jump off. I jump. I'm right there, man. I'm ready. Boom!
All right, so you like pull the reins. You're like, whoa, and your horse whinnies, and he stops kind of suddenly, and
Yeah,
you
man.
hop off the horse,
Yeah, man.
and Tom, roll your rifle skill. Or I'm sorry, submachine gun skill. It's going to require a submachine gun success to unjam your weapon, please.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Can you use 1 point of luck for that?
ooh, that's right. It's not attack. It's just jamming.
Yes, you can.
Might be time to use the luck there, dude.
All right, so you pull the bolt, man, and it's fucking jammed. There's probably a shell casing stuck in there or something. So you're like, fuck, and you can't get it with your hand. So you take the butt of the gun and you jam it up against your saddle like this, and you hear the bolt come loose. And you see the shell, like the flicker of the brass, and the starlight, ching, flies out somewhere.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, good. All right, man.
All right, Kyle, Bear, you're kind of a little bit ahead of these guys, and you got your gun. You're like, boom, nothing, and you've got your gun pointed at this thing, and now it's right upon you.
Okay, can I shoot again?
Yes, you may.
All right.
Has he come to a stop, or is he still riding hard? Are we?
I assume Bear's still riding.
No, I decided to slow down so I can get a better shot at this thing.
All right, but you're still riding.
All right.
It's going to take another hard success, dude. $64.
I didn't make it.
2 less than you rolled last time. Boom. Blackwood. At this point, Tom, Bear's about maybe 40 feet away up ahead, and Corso is behind you now. He's dismounted his horse. These things are coming down at you from the northwest. They're only maybe 30 or 40 feet away from you at this point.
Now, if we're all
be upon you any moment.
If we're all separated, are they coming to one of us, or is one coming to each of us?
They're coming down into your general direction. You guys aren't that far apart. You're within like a 40-foot radius, like standing in your living room, kind of.
Do we keep riding? What do you think? Lee might dismounted though.
Well, if we dismounted, we're gonna have to get down.
Well, dude, there's no running from these things. These things are faster than us. So
looking at Corso, it looks like Corso's going to make a stand using his horse as a shield.
Yeah, man.
He's trying to get a bead on one of these fucking things with his shotgun back there.
What, you're gonna ride on your horse and let this thing attack you as you ride? You can't shoot, man. You gotta fucking stop, fucking fight.
I want to also emphasize that these things are huge. I mean, they're bigger than men. At first, when you first saw them, they didn't look that big, but now that they're closer, they really are literally like the size of your horse. Each of them.
I keep riding, and I shoot at it as I'm riding. I want to try to catch up to Bear.
All right, it's gonna be really hard to hit, Tom. But go ahead. Again, you can fire up to 5 volleys of 4 bullets each. Your first volley, you're not going to get any penalty dice or anything, but you're still going to need a hard success starting out. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
Boom. 2 bullets. 2 bullets. Sweet. So 2d10 plus 4.
Let the lead fly.
20.
Nice.
Holy jeebus.
Boop, 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 boop.
Exactly.
All right, you definitely hit it. You gonna fire again?
Oh yes.
The witch killer sings.
This time, I need you
Sing,
to...
witch killer. Sing, witch killer. Sing, witch killer.
You actually get a penalty die this time, though. So roll again. For the second volley, you get a penalty die. So that's always a bummer when you roll an extreme success and a fail.
Does that mean I missed?
Yeah, it means you missed. You take the worst of the 2 rolls. 75. So for the third volley, it's going to be 2 penalty dice.
Got it.
And you need a hard success to hit. Third volley fails. Fourth volley, you get 2 penalty dice, and it's another level of difficulty. So you need an extreme success. And he fumbles again.
Ugh.
The fucking Tommy gun jams. Click.
Last guy didn't clean this thing. Still
I
got
guess.
worm juice on it.
Probably some blood. It's probably all mucked up with blood.
It's got worm juice on it.
Worm juice is a
I-
terrible lubricant for
I
fire.
can hear him scream out, "There's worm juice on."
Exactly.
Just coming up the action.
Check.
We've
Oh, they're not coming through. God damn it. Hold on. Check. Testing.
Syllabus.
Testing.
Syllabus.
Well, this is recording, but oh well. Let me just reload the page here. Rounds out of that Tommy gun so far, Tom.
All right.
You haven't you hit it. You hit it. The first, when you first
Every
started
time,
shooting, when you had a little bit of aim, you hit it. You hit it.
Every time the first shot is awesome,
Yeah.
right? The last time the same thing. Boom.
As it should be. The first burst from a Tommy gun should hit, right?
True.
All right, we're to Corso. These things are still kind of at, kind of medium range for a shotgun. It'd be hard to hit it from this range, but you can try.
Medium range, you say?
Yeah, one of them kind of veers away from the others, and it's coming right at you, Dr. Corso.
Okay, so if I position myself a little better, will I still have a chance to shoot it when it's point blank, or do I need to go? You know what I mean?
You could wait for it to get closer if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I wait for it till it's in short range, and then I let loose with the shotgun, man.
He wants to see the whites
Right.
of its glittery space eye.
Yeah, man.
All right, that's going to be thing 3.
I'm talking to my horse,
Thing 2 is on top of you, Mr. Blackwood. As your Tommy gun jams for a second time, this thing is like on you. You feel its claws like grabbing onto you at this point. So you have a choice at this point, Tom. You can either fight back, you can try to dodge its attack, or you can do some kind of combat maneuver.
Me?
You got a Tommy gun in both hands right now. So if you were to fight back, I would assume you'd probably, try to bludgeon it with the butt of your gun or something.
Because it's attacking.
Yeah, it seems to be trying to grab you by like your upper body as it comes down at you. You see these pincher claws, almost like the claws of like an ant.
Yeah, I
Trying
definitely try to dodge this thing to escape it.
Do you have another weapon, Tom?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my shotgun.
You can just drop the Tommy gun and
Definitely.
try to evade. Drop the Tommy gun and like roll to the side, try to pull your shotgun out or something. I don't know.
Hey, Sean, don't we get like a agility bonus for initiative since we have readied firearms?
That is true. If you if you fired last time and you have a semi-automatic or an automatic weapon, yeah, you should get a bonus on your initiative. We need to remember to do that.
Ah,
I'll do it for next round.
cool.
Unfortunately, Tom, your gun is jammed. But all right, so you're gonna try to dodge this thing. Go ahead and roll dodge. So you have to get a better level of success than it does with its grab. It fails with its first grab. And its second grab fails with its second grab. So there's really no need to roll dodge. But so what you did, Tom, is you gave up your next action to be able to dodge any attacks that things make on you until your next turn here.
Okay.
So that was thing 2. Thing 1 is on Bear. It's right on top of you, Bear. You see its head is like, it looks like a mammal, kind of its head part of it looks like a dog or a pig or something, but it has this long snout, almost like a mole looking thing. It has these black insectoid eyes, because it's also trying to grab at you with its claws. What are you doing? Are you going to fight back or dodge or maneuver?
Remind me, if I maneuver, I just have to tie up with it to do what I want, right?
Yeah, maneuvers usually like wrestling kind of stuff. You can use it to give it like disadvantages on further attacks on you. You can do something that may give you advantage on attacks on it.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Is I want to maneuver so that my next shot with the elephant gun is like right up against its friggin' glittery space eye. Boom!
All
So I'm
right.
trying to move out of the way so I can press my gun right up against it and get maximum.
Okay. Oh shit. Let me pull this up here. So go ahead and roll your brawl skill. Come on now. All right, what'd you get?
A success? Mhm.
Regular success.
Regular success.
All right, first claw, fail. Second claw is a regular success. So versus your maneuver, let me look at make sure I didn't do it right here. We haven't done much hand-to-hand combat lately. Combat rolls cannot be pushed. Compare builds. What's your build, Bear? Do you have a +1 build?
I think so.
What is build?
Take a look at it.
It's like
That's
It's like a size and
your
bulk of the
size
bot.
and
Got it.
yeah.
build is +1. I've got +1. Yeah.
Yeah, it affects maneuvers and hand-to-hand combat. Well, you should actually get a penalty die. Because of that, let me just re-roll those. Well, actually, first one was a fail. I'll just roll for the penalty for the first one. Well, he would have failed anyway. For the second one, I'm gonna roll again, and he fails. So
Hooray!
Bear's bolt kind of helps him from. It's trying. It looks like it seems like it's trying to actually grab onto your clothing, dude. And now we're to thing 3, which is close enough now, Lee, for your shotgun to go off right in its face.
And I do. Boom!
Go ahead.
Suck on my shotgun. All right.
Normal chance to hit. It's well within close range. It's like shooting skeet. Very large pony-sized skeet. Oh, he rolled a 99.
Click.
What's a pump shotgun malfunction on, Lee? I'm
It
sure
could.
it's got to
yeah,
be
it could-
99.
Yeah, it could probably like
It's 100. All shotguns are 100.
Okay.
Why shotguns are so good.
All right.
All right, boom. You pulled a little bit wide there, Lee,
Yeah.
and it's on you. Well, we're going to have to roll to see if it grabs you. So are you going to fight back or dodge?
Well, since I have the horse in front of me, does that kind of count as a little cover?
Maybe if somebody was shooting at you, but now it's right on top of you. Your horse is
Okay.
probably getting ready to bolt at this point.
Okay. Can I fight back?
It's like some mad rabid locust has come out of the sky and it's molesting you right now.
Yeah, it did seem a little rapey.
A little rapey, yeah.
It was
It's trying
going
to
for the
grab
claws.
onto you.
Oh, grabby.
Watch out for space rape.
It's got claws like the size of your head.
Okay.
Looks like it probably could just cut your head off with one of its pincers if it wanted to.
All right. So what are my options here?
Fight back, dodge, or some kind of maneuver.
I'll fight back.
Grapple with it or- All right, it's going to be a brawl check. So the first grab fumbles. I think Corso's build may be good too. Now that I think about it, yeah, he's got a +1 build too.
Nice.
So is that an advantage in this scenario?
It's an advantage to Corso, yeah, because it gives the other guy, the enemy, a penalty die in maneuvers, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to grab. So I'll just roll again. Go ahead and roll your fighting brawl to see if you can hit him and do damage to him here.
Okay. Let's see here.
The penalty die for the first grab. So that's going to come off as a fumble.
Nicely. Nice, Dr. Corso, you fabulous handlebar bastard.
All right, so as its pincers are coming out of it, it's got multiple pincers, like 4, maybe even 5 of them, coming down at you, Lee. One of them seems to go astray a little bit, and it clamps down on one of your horse's legs, and you hear the horse cry out and scream. I assume you're hitting it with the butt of your shotgun. Okay.
Oh yeah, right in its eye orbit if I can. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hit the eyes of these things.
Roll a D8 plus a D4 for your bonus die. I think, or not a bonus die, but I believe you get a damage bonus.
I do.
You have huge biceps.
8 points.
All right, crack! The butt of your shotgun smashes into this like chitinous outer layer of shell or skin or whatever the fuck it is this thing has, and you kind of knock it back away from you now. It's like buzzing like a bee. Bzzz.
Nice.
And it's still attached to your horse, and your horse is screaming. Bear, we're back to you.
All right, I've maneuvered my way into hopefully a bonus dice here.
Yep, and hand to hand it will be for sure. This thing's still trying to grab you. Its pinchers are coming out, snapping at you.
All right, well, I'm gonna unload
It hovers above you.
an elephant gun round right into it. Boo!
I don't believe you've reloaded yet, Kyle.
Oh, I thought I had 5 ammo.
No, you do, but you only get 2. You got 2 barrels, and you fired both barrels, so you need to reload that puppy now. You want to shoot again? Takes a round to reload it.
Can I just let it go on the sling and pick up my lever action? Go to work with that?
Yeah, you'd probably have to just drop, discard the elephant rifle and whip out your 30,
Well, that's what
30.
I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Can I fire?
Yeah, I'll let you get a round off. I'm gonna give you a penalty die though, because
All right.
pulling it out and this thing's kind of right on you. You're gonna have to, to hit it might be a little difficult.
It's perfect for the lever action though. You can see him drop the elephant gun and
All right,
freaking-
man. I hit it.
Well, that's what I was saying before. It is actually kind of nice for close combat too, because it's so short. It's a carbine.
Yeah.
Wow.
He fucking hip shoots that shit. Boom, boom. No scopes it. Boom, boom.
That's for 10 damage. All right, boom, headshot. You see its head fucking explode.
Yay! Hopefully that kills it.
Yeah, and its buzzing anti-insecty body falls to the ground, twitching. You see it.
It could be killed!
Yeah, you see it kind of fall down in the mud, and it's squirming down there in the mud below you right now. Its head is gone. We're back to you, Blackwood.
I should get some sanity back for that.
You've got one on you too, Tom.
I shoot up my shotgun.
All right, you're gonna have to drop the Tommy gun and pull out the shotgun.
Oh, I dropped the Tommy gun when I was dodging.
So to pull out your shotgun and get off a shot, it's like, I'm gonna count it basically like an unaimed shot kind of thing.
That means penalty die.
For the shotgun though, I'm not gonna give you a penalty die.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a bonus die for point blank, but I'm gonna cancel out the bonus die for the point blank, just because of I'm not supposed to let you pull out a gun and shoot it in the same round, but I'm going to. So I give you a bonus die for point blank and a penalty die for the quick shot. So that puts you at nothing. So you just need a regular success.
Okay. Understood.
You're evened out.
Green
Just
dice,
roll
right?
through your shotgun. Yeah, you can roll the green. Oh, boom!
All right.
What is it? Is it a double barrel?
Extreme.
Tom?
Of course
Yeah.
it is.
It's a double barrel sawed off shotgun, 12 gauge.
Unleashed.
That's both barrels, I assume.
The gauge.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Too bad you didn't have slugs in there. That's when you impale with that shit.
I have the silver slugs that the father gave me.
Silver slugs.
Yeah, the father gave me all that stuff. He had
That's
his-
right. You actually did have some
bullets,
silver.
silver slugs.
Yeah,
and-
we did have silver bullets. Yeah.
He's a generous man of the cloth.
All right. Well, let's calculate this astronomical damage, shall we? That's
all he
46 plus 46. That's 24 plus 24. That's 48. So now roll 8d6.
How many?
86.
Jesus.
So for an impale, double impale in this case, the impale damage starts at 48 because that's max damage for both barrels. Now you get to roll your damage on top of that.
Exactly half of what you
24.
can do. You this is the averagest of rolls you could have got.
68.
Right down the middle, baby.
That's
The,
70,
the stat gods are happy.
72 damage, Tom.
Holy crap, man. You thought you had some shit on your jacket. Just wait till this is over.
Bam.
Yeah, you hit it like right in center mass. Actually, this thing's right on top of you. So you wield it with one hand.
Double barrel
Pull it out
silver
like this.
slugs.
And you stick it right up against its body and you go, boom! And you see just blood and shit just splatter everywhere. And it looks like you shot it almost into two pieces. It cracks in half and falls down on the ground in the mud below you. And there's just, you're covered with this slimy, blackish green blood. That is your best guess.
First the yellow goo, now the black stuff.
Yeah, and it's not even moving. It just lands on the ground with a thud. Both pieces, both halves of it.
Awesome.
Corso, back to you.
Fire.
All right. Yeah, point blank this time, so you get a bonus die. So click the gray button for your shotty. This thing is going to attempt to dodge, though. Let me roll that first. That's okay.
Sorry.
No, see, it's kind of the only brethren that is living here.
Does it still have a hold of the horse?
Yeah. See, it failed his dodge roll, so that's fail. You rolled a 90, or wait, you got a bonus die, so you got a 77. That's 65. And you got a couple. I think you got a couple more shells in that shotgun.
Yeah.
The pump?
Yeah, it's a pump. I had 6 rounds in it, so I have 2 rounds left.
I believe so.
Yeah, 6 rounds, 1 round up, 5 ends. So yeah, 2 rounds left.
All right, Lee. So this thing comes down back at you. It's trying to grab you again. You gonna fight it?
I fight back.
You're gonna dodge it. All
I
right.
fight back.
Go ahead and roll fighting brawl. Oh, it also gets a penalty die because of your build. Or wait a minute, it also...
So I'm gonna roll the green or the gray.
This one also has +1 build, so... roll the green. Green's fine.
Okay.
You need better than a hard success, though, because it got a hard. And the second claw, you can roll again for your fight. All right, so for the first claw, his hard success beat your normal success. Second one missed. Let's see here.
We lost Kyle.
Corso, one of these gigantic claws grips onto one of your arms, and you hear the crunching of your fucking bones. You take
man.
You take 7 hit points,
Okay.
and as the buzzing kind of intensifies, you feel like almost the sensation of weightlessness for a moment, And then you find yourself floating up above the ground now. This thing has you by the arm. And both of you guys see this, Kyle and Tom, as you guys apparently slay these things coming at you. You look back at Corso, and he's kind of grappling with the thing. He's got a shotgun in his hand. This thing grabs him by the arm and starts flying off with him.
All right, I take my shot, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's moving pretty quickly. I'm going to give you a penalty die for the shot.
Okay.
And it's night, but I'll be generous. I would give you another one, but old Bear, he's pretty good with a rifle. Won't be his first night shoot. Hunting those lizards out in the desert and shit. With the penalty -1, that's a fail. You rolled 277s. Crack! Goes the carbine.
I rolled twice. It wouldn't have made a difference, though. But anyways, I only meant to shoot it once.
No, well, I'm looking at the first one.
Yeah, either way, it doesn't make it.
Yeah, you got to cock it between shots, is why. William, you see old Dr. Corso. This very surprised look on his face as he's being hauled away by this evil bug, or whatever it is.
I kick my horse and go, yeah! And I start riding. I take a shot with my shotgun. I get as close as I can. And I shoot.
You unloaded your shotgun.
Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. I got a 30-30. Wait a minute. What was that thing I got? I think you told me about it.
It's lying on the ground over there somewhere. And you pulled out your double barrel sawed-off. Both barrels smoking at this point.
Then I've got a...
Covered with black blood.
A 30-30. Isn't that a rifle?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah, so I take my rifle off my shoulder and I take my shot.
All right, again, the quick shot roll and get a penalty die for that.
Quick draw McGraw.
And I'm going to give you another penalty die too for the fast-moving insectoid horror, whatever it is. It's moving pretty quickly, so 2 penalty dies on the first shot, Tom. Roll the gray die. It's going to have to be a good shot to hit it.
All right. Gray die. That doesn't look good.
All right. Your shot seems to miss, as you see the shadowy figure now kind of, you can see it up against the night sky, but then it flies behind the trees off to the north.
To where we were coming from or where we were going?
Kind of off in a different direction.
More
towards where you were leaving. More towards Craig Dube, but not quite in that direction.
Do I have a chance to shoot this thing, man?
I mean, I take another shot as long as I can.
Surely I can attack it.
Take this thing out of the air.
You can try. I'm going to give you a penalty die though. So it's got you by one arm.
Shoddy.
All right, let's see if you can do it.
All right. So gray roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Corso.
With the penalty die, that's a fail in the -1 row.
Can we take one more shot at it?
You rolled a 55 and a 75. No, it's out of sight now. So
30-30, that's a long-range rifle, right?
So here's what happens. Yeah, but it's dark, Tom, and it's kind of beyond the trees now. To your horror, you see Dr. Corso being carried off into the sky by this thing, and it goes behind the tree line. You can't see him anymore. You hear the crack of a rifle shot or a shotgun going off. You see the flash in the sky, but that's the last you see of Dr. Corso at the moment. So here's what happens. Corso, you got one more shot in your shotgun, right?
Yep. But I've already hit this thing once, right? It's taken some damage, correct?
It has taken some damage, yeah.
Would it be easier for me to fight brawl it to smash it again?
Yeah, well, it's kind of brawling with you at the moment.
Right? So should I? So okay. So fight brawl would be the proper
Yeah,
response.
It flails at you with one of its claws, trying to smack you in the head.
All right, man. I fight brawl it. Fight.
All right, for the first one, it gets a regular success.
Put your hands inside it and pull its guts out.
Yeah.
So I'm rolling green, right?
You can roll green, yep.
Damn you.
Nope. The dice are fickle.
Hmm.
The fickle die.
You're making me sad.
All right. So, Dr. Corso, the pain coming from your arm right now, you can feel the blood like running down the right side of your body as this thing is just, you're kind of swinging below it like a fucking rag doll with a shotgun in one hand. And you're trying to fight your way free from it. And then you see the blur of one of its claws coming right at your face and boom, hit you right in the head in darkness.
That's probably death right there, man.
Oh, dude.
Let's take a quick intermission.
Damage wise.
This is going to be pretty interesting what happens next year. Let's take a few minutes though.
All right.
Okay.
Be right back.
All right, people. the hell was that? Yo.
I'm back.
Yo, homies. Snackage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Man, the bugs are out tonight here.
Burn more citronella.
I did. I just whipped up another one.
Yeah, bugs are out tonight in Call of Cthulhu too, apparently.
All right, gentlemen. Sorry.
Horse bugs.
Bugs.
So Lee, we're going to keep you in suspense for a moment. We're going to shift to Mr. Blackwood and Bear. To your horror, you see Corso carried off by this thing. And,
Do you remember those old commercials from the 70s where they have the Indian crying when he sees all the garbage?
yeah. I kind of imagine, Bear, he's a personal friend of Dr. Corso. I imagine Bear thinking like, oh my God, poor Dr. Corso.
Yeah.
Can we ride after him? Can we follow him? Can we know where he's going? We could ride after him. Well, tell us what happens here. What happens?
Well, you guys need to tell me what you're doing. You're sitting there on your horses now. Your horses are still a little antsy and excited, but you're still mounted. And this thing has flown off with Dr. Corso off to the north beyond the tree line over there.
As long as it's not heading back towards the mountain where those octopus were, I start going after him.
Yeah, it's heading off towards the north and out into the countryside.
We ride.
I'm trying to get to a clear spot so we got a sight of them at least.
Reloading as we're riding.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So you guys ride into the night, scanning the horizon, looking for your friend. After a good 10 minutes of riding, you haven't seen him. You're unable to see anything up there.
Shit. All right, ride back to the bugs and pick up my Tommy gun.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Go back to the bugs and can we are the bodies of the bug things still there?
When you get back, all that remains of the bodies of these things are these green gelatinous pools of slime. Their chitinous bodies are no longer intact. They seem to have melted into these Icarus pools.
I'd be
Slime.
curious to sprinkle some of that dust on one of these, see what happens. Just to the carcass part.
I don't think you guys have any. I think Blackhood still has his dust.
Yep.
Bear through his.
I take a small little pinch and I just sprinkle a small little pinch on it, see if it does anything.
No, nothing seems to happen. The metal flakes seem to be absorbed into the liquid.
Okay.
All right, dude, we should
Pick up the Tommy gun and all the other guns we've left and dropped.
You look over at Bear, Tom. You look over at Bear and he's got tears streaming down his eyes.
I say, dude, we need to get out of here. We got this gold piece. We know what was necessary. We need to leave. I'm sorry about your
All right.
friend.
Yeah, well, he was a good man.
Hopefully, we'll see him again.
Probably not. That wouldn't be good if you saw him again.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
he
gonna
doesn't
have
know.
like a chitinous arm up his ass, like moving his mouth around like a man puppet.
Yeah, give me the disc. Everything's okay. Give me the disc.
Exactly.
No, it's fine. I'll just look
No,
at
this-
it for a minute.
This beast right here next close to me.
That's my friend. His name's Harold.
His name's
Where-
Harold.
Do we have any idea where they'd be taking him? What's to the north?
No,
We
do
have-
you? Just the Highlands countryside, man. I mean, we can look at the map. I can kind of give you an idea from what you know of the area, at least.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I'm a
need to
local. I know this place.
We need to get some B-52 bombers in here for some arc light bombing.
Yeah. All right, let's get on here.
That's when you need the C-31 circling above the Spectre gunship.
So right here where the pin is, that's Craig Dube. That's the mountain where the standing stones are. And you guys are just a little bit west of that, as far as you know. Riding back towards Cannich. Down here. And the thing carried Corso off to the north, off this direction. Up towards the Menard River. Like I said, just kind of out into the countryside.
I think he's going to be eaten.
Well, it's good. It's good that I didn't have the disc on me.
Thanks, William.
That's the saving grace, man. I didn't have the disc on me. Thank God.
That is good news.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. What do you think? How do we ride that direction? I know this area. How long can we survive out there?
Oh, a couple days maybe.
No, man. You need to. You're in open country with this disc, dude.
Yeah, I mean you're maybe familiar
You
with.
need to flee.
Tom, you've been to Cannich, maybe a couple times in the distant past. It's not like a place you hang out in or anything. But you don't really know the countryside out there.
Flee.
Yeah, we've got to get the disc out of here back to the mothership.
All right. All right. We ride. I say a blessing and do the sign of the cross.
Riding back to Cannich.
Kiss my cross on my necklace and we ride.
All right, riding back to Cannich. Back to Dr. McParlin's, I guess.
Yep.
Good old Doc McParlin.
This time, at least, you're not crashing through his front door with a corpse. Oh!
Well, that's because the father's not with us. He's good for at least one resuscitation after every encounter.
All right, so
Doctor, man, he had Cthulhu skills.
Now he's really getting some Cthulhu skills.
That is not good.
Hey, man, attrition occurs.
Did we use
you guys were that was a serious incursion, man.
That was,
dude. I thought we were all gonna get like destroyed
killed
by the tentacle.
Yeah, man. We're lucky any of us escaped from the cavern at all, let alone got outside.
Thank goodness for our cowardly run out of there. That saved us.
Yes.
I thought we were gonna die for sure in the caverns,
Mr.
man.
Blackwood shot it in the brain.
Right. The yellow.
Right.
Saved your ass. Got that freaking impale on it.
Nice.
So I have some decent dice rolls from you guys.
Then he paid the ultimate price.
Yeah, there were a lot of good dice rolls, and then there were a lot of extremely bad dice rolls. It was crazy.
Right. So this part will be rather unexpected to everyone. Let's go over to here. Okay, computer scroll.
How many screens do you have, Sean?
Millions.
I don't know.
Infinite number of screens.
Yeah, I have a screen for each chapter, which is kind of the main screen for all the handouts and everything. And then just the ambient stuff like this, they're so easy to make. I just pop art on there and put some music to it.
No, let me rephrase. How many monitors do you have?
Oh, 2. Well, one actually. One that I'm using to play and one that I'm using to record.
That's what I'm saying. Do you have another monitor where you keep stuff open and you can bring it over and look at it? No?
I really need to because I've got this it's like a, 26-inch monitor or something. So I got enough screen space to keep everything in one.
Wow. Okay, cool. Very cool.
I just hook my laptop up to a monitor. So this will be unexpected. So Dr. Corso, you wake up, your eyes flutter open, you feel the coolness of the air rushing past you, whipping your hair around. And you look down, you can see the earth. You can see like trees down below. And at first you think, I must be flying in a dream or something like that. And then you begin to remember what's happening to you and you feel the pain in your arm and you look up and you see this monstrous thing flapping its wings in this buzzing sound. And you're kind of in and out of consciousness at this point. You actually kind of black out again for a little bit and then you wake up. And now below you, you can see ocean, it looks like, down there. Just vast expanses of water for as far as you can see in every direction in the starlight. You can see the kind of lapping waves down there below you, far down below.
Do I still have my shotgun in my hand, or is that gone?
No, you don't.
Okay. I assume I still have my hunting knife. My brass.
Yeah, you feel around for it. You do.
Okay, man.
As you're feeling around for your knife, in the distance you see a blob, like a black blob of a shadow. And as your eyes kind of focus, you can see that it's in fact a dirigible.
It's a what?
It appears to be like a dirigible, like a zeppelin, floating in the sky out there, and you're nearing it. It's growing larger and larger as you're looking at it. It appears to be a quite large blimp flying way high up. You're probably a mile or more up above the ocean. And as you near it, you can see in the compartment, the passenger compartment that hangs below the blimp, you can see the flicker of lights, like candlelight or lantern light. And you can see as you get closer, you see a main deck above that's open to the air. And you see a man standing on the deck looking up as you're approaching. And
I'll try to conceal my knife in my hand,
Okay.
backhand it. So it's ready.
This thing kind of buzzes its way down, kind of waywardly. It's like I said, it flies like a bee, so you're kind of like up and down. You're fucking swaying in the wind like a rag doll, like I said. It gets down near the deck. Yeah, it gets down near the deck, and it drops you from about 5 feet from above the deck, and you fall to the deck with a thud, and your hunting knife kind of clanks onto the deck before you, as you lie face down on the deck, and you feel a hand on your shoulder, and it gives you a tug and flips you over onto your back. You see a man looking down at you, appears to be a middle-aged Caucasian, wearing what appears to be like a boonie hat, in this light tan-colored jacket, looks like a hunting jacket or something. And he's looking at you, and he opens up one of your eyes like this as you get a look at him as he's bending over you.
Stab him.
I don't have my knife, dude. It clanked to the floor.
Clank on the floor doesn't mean that's out of your reach. Grab it and cut his aorta, or his carotid artery, just under the left ear.
Just under the left ear.
And
It's Stanford, isn't it?
So am I conscious? I'm conscious, correct?
you're conscious, but I'm assuming you have your eyes closed. It's kind of lying there like playing dead, right?
Yeah.
He opens up your eye, kind of he's looking at your eye.
Yeah, so I'll
and he
kind
lets go
of
you.
So I'll open my eyes.
Okay. You see him standing over you. He holds your hunting knife in his left hand, and he's got his hand on a pistol and a holster in his hip. And he says, "Dr. Corso, I presume?"
Yes.
And you hear this buzzing sound coming from nearby, and you kind of almost achingly kind of turn your head, and you see this bug, this insect thing, perched on the railing of the deck. And you look back at the man. The man looks over to the thing on the railing, and he nods his head like this, and you hear it fly off. He extends his hand out like this towards you. He says, "Let me help you up, Dr. Corso."
So I'll take his hand.
All right, he pulls you up onto your feet.
Like, my arm's pretty fucked up. I need to tend to it.
He says, "I'm so sorry about that, Doctor. That was not intended." He says, "Stuart Devlin, at your service." He says, I'm afraid they can be quite rough sometimes."
I see. Had you sent these creatures out to find the disc?
He says, "I had heard that you were in Cannich, but I've been pursued quite closely over the past several weeks and found it to be too dangerous to venture into Cannich myself. I've used these things before to find people, and I thought that might be my best bet to locate you and your group." And he says, "Come over here." He says, "Have a seat." And he pulls out some first aid, like some gauze and shit. He says, "Again, I'm really sorry about that. I half expected it, but..." He says, "Where are the others?"
So I relay the story to him in detail. The last several weeks, what's gone on, and what happened just before his messengers intercepted us, and the fact that they're obviously
killing two of them.
Yeah, obviously fleeing back to Cannich, probably to stay with the doctor. Now that they've acquired the part of the disc, the third part.
Well, he expresses some relief to know that the others are alive after that story.
Yes, it's harrowing. Insanity.
He says it sounds as if. Well, let me look at something real quick.
Snake Witch Mountain is no joke.
I doubt it's even there anymore, man. I think those creatures came through the ground.
Oh, it's still there. Oh, it's still there, Tom.
Yeah, dude, that thing is.
Have to go down there with a division of the fucking 82nd Airborne. couple tanks.
He says it sounds to me that the star steeds, the creatures, arrived almost in the nick of time. He says, apparently it didn't go as planned, though. He says, I've only used them a couple of times before, and most of the things that they... He says most of their actions are can be quite random. Here's what he tells you, Lee. He tells you he says that he had meant to meet Dr. McBride and the others in Inverness several weeks ago.
Okay.
However, he encountered some members of the Order in London and had to go into hiding for some time. For about 10 days.
Understood.
It took about 10 days to lose their trail. He said the entire time, he says we had been discussing about the best course of action to take to secure what you've been seeking in Cannich, the discs.
We, you say?
He says, yes, I've had the fortune to find Mr. Casey, Edgar Casey.
Oh, really?
What? He's one of the original party members that I thought were institutionalized and then escaped.
Yeah, he said Edgar Casey was a member of the original Morgan expedition to the Honduras.
Yeah, with Crown and Shield and Yusufus.
Yeah, we found him hanging out at the portal naked. That's where he was. That's when we found him. He was like, hey, I'm Edgar Casey hanging out here naked by the portal. What are
He
you guys
says,
doing
he says, unfortunately, let me look at the calendar here. Let's see, it's October 22nd. Hold on, I need to get my time scale right here. He says, unfortunately, soon after I met with Mr. Casey, this is several months ago. Well, first he tells you that when he says we, and you said, well, who do you mean by we? He says, well, fortunately, I was able to track down Mr. Casey, Edgar Casey. You know of him? You say, oh, yeah, he was that guy or whatever. He said, yeah. He says, I've been consulting with this group of men that he had come into contact with, like-minded individuals, you understand, having to do with the plot, this Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight. Also, this organization looked to the future in New York. He says, unfortunately, Mr. Casey didn't survive the hunt. He says, how's your shoulder? Is it feeling better now?
Do I need to roll?
Well, I should probably make a quick roll for the first aid anyway, because you are down some hit points.
Yep.
He's being a little vague, a little nervous. And again, I'm not there. What are we doing, Kyle? We're riding. We must hear about this later, though.
Well, we're going to Dr. McFarland's, I think, right?
Yep.
It doesn't feel much better.
Can I try to first aid myself?
Yeah, you can. Go for it. You're a doctor, after all.
Yes.
Yay!
Hey, you get 1 point back. You stop the bleeding.
Cool.
Here's what he says to you, Dr. Corso. He says, unfortunately, Mr. Casey hasn't survived the hunt. And it's a bit of a mystery, and he looks at you kind of funny. Exactly what happened. He says, but unfortunately, Mr. Casey died in an explosion in Boston.
Oops.
Oops. Kind of explosion.
I see.
Was he hanging out at the Order of the Silver Twilight Future Hall?
He says he died that night in the explosion at the lodge of the Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight.
Oh, shit.
Was he there posing as a member, or was he happen to be there just like hunting around in the building? Why was he there? Do we know?
Kind of stops for a moment. Says, I don't know how best to tell you, Dr. Corso, but Mr. Casey is, in his latter days, had become quite unhinged, you see. He believed himself to be the second coming of Christ, the Messiah, if you will.
It's okay.
Sounds like it was for the best.
Well, these things will happen. These things will happen. They're shocking.
He says he was still quite interested in becoming part of the order to learn its secrets and become a wizard. He always went on about becoming a wizard.
Okay.
So in effect, though, having to do with these like-minded individuals, we considered Mr. Casey to have trying to make a second attempt at infiltrating the organization.
I gotcha.
And this says, it's unfortunate that he died in the explosion. Though we do have our suspicions that certain people, perhaps related to Mr. Crowninshield, had something to do with that, but we're not sure. And then he goes on to ask you, he says, what's become of Mr. Sparks and Dr. Van Helsing?
So I relayed the tale and all its gory details that I'm aware of.
And then he goes on in McBride and Grant.
Careful what you
Yeah.
tell this guy, Lee. How do you know he's not twisted?
I suppose he could be, but I mean, could also have me. I should be dead if that was the case, right? Easily torture me.
Well, he's
Easily.
done pumping you for information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
You can hear the
Uh,
the propellers. Has dual propellers for this thing. You can hear them kind of humming. You can hear the engines kind of sputtering as you guys are talking on the deck of this thing. He looks like
Sure.
he has some crates and shit stacked up on this upper deck. There appears to be a portal into a lower deck in this thing as well. The thing itself is probably about 120, 130 feet long, with the dirigible part of it hanging beneath a good 50 feet. So it's like the size of a good sized ship, really.
Right. So I ask him, what's his intention? Or is he here to assist us? These like-minded individuals, or I mean, are we? Obviously, you know of the military order.
Yeah. Well, he says it wasn't too long before we figured out how dangerous this group present in Cannich were. We found out about Anshan Train. We actually had one of our men has ties with Scotland Yard, a Mr. Hayes, Tommy Hayes, who'd been doing some work in Cannich and gathering information. He managed to infiltrate the Coven. So we were well aware of the danger that Father McBride and Logan Grant, Mr. Savastano were in. Unfortunately, as I said, we were delayed by being closely pursued by Carl Stanford and others. He says, presently our plan was to let you, Dr. Corso, and the others know of our existence, and to help you find the portions of the disc. He says, we've been studying some material that we gained from infiltrating the Look to the Future organization in New York. And we think we have found what the Silver Twilight intends to do with this disc. He says.
Really? What's their plan? Do tell.
He says, I shouldn't be the one to tell you. He says,
Okay.
For the time being, I think it may be best to find your companions and
Yes.
let them know as well.
Yeah, let's do that post haste. Go on. Let's go. We know where they're headed.
He says, we're going to take the Zeppelin outside of Inverness to an airfield, and we'll decide what to do from there after we meet some of the others.
Okay. Sounds good. What's in these crates? What's all this stuff here? Looks like you got a lot of supplies.
Yeah, he shows you. I'll tell you what he's got there.
Got any rifles?
He does.
Because I need a rifle.
Personally, he has a 45 auto on his hip. He's got a Lee Enfield rifle. He's got a Thompson submachine gun. A bunch of 45 rounds. Some of the crates appear to have rations, things like dried meat, some army rations, things like that. He's got a good supply of water, these barrels. He's got several cases of dark beer. He's got some bourbon. Most of it the stuff that he has looks like rations and things like that. He shows you below deck, so there's actually a small galley down there, like a kitchen. It's a sleeping area. It looks like the dirigible could carry probably at least eight or 10 people.
Oh wow, this is great.
Mm.
I tell him this is great. Do you have a rifle or a shotgun I could perhaps arm myself with?
Yeah, he gives you the Lee Enfield.
Oh, awesome! Thank you. An excellent rifle.
He says it'll take about 6 hours to get there to Inverness.
Okay.
Meanwhile, what are you guys doing back in Cannich?
Well, I think we should hole up at McParland's for the night and first light. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
Get the disc piece out of here.
Collect our shit and go.
Back to Inverness, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah, at a minimum.
Collect all the pieces wet. That's right. All the pieces went to Malta, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
We just need
pieces
to
in
find a path
the
a
books.
road trip to Malta.
The other 2 pieces are technically 3 pieces because one of them was cut in half.
Right.
Yeah. Along with all the books and everything, I believe.
Yep, with all the books and everything.
You guys do have nameless cults, though, don't you?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, you had a
Yeah,
copy.
because we do have nameless cults. Because there's another copy back in Malta.
So,
Plus, it's cool to have an old tome like that you can hold above your head.
If I need a loud noise, I'll just bang it on the table. Bam, bam.
If Dr. Van Helsing was around, we would do that, but he's not.
Lee, Dr. Corso, you noticed in some of your conversations and interactions with Devlin, you noticed the star stone that he has hanging on a cord around his neck. And the first time you notice it, you're kind of above decks, kind of looking, you got your rifle kind of slung in front of you like this. You're kind of looking at the sea below you, and you can see the land in the distance, probably the coastline. And you hear footsteps of him coming up the stairs from below. And looking down there, it's completely dark down there. So, and in the darkness down there where you hear his footsteps, you can see the greenish blue glow. And you're like, what the? And you kind of get your rifle, you're like, what the hell is it? You can see as he comes out into the light, it's the stone hanging around his neck that apparently glows in complete darkness.
Cool. I see you have a protection stone.
So, in fact, all you guys would arrive back in Inverness at around the same time. Lee, when you get into Inverness out to the airfield, it's several miles outside of Inverness, this airfield. And meeting you at the airfield are 2 men. One's American. Appears to be an older gentleman. You notice Devlin, when you guys start getting off the dirigible, refers to him as General. The other man is a black man. He looks like he's probably Libyan from your experience.
Okay.
Young, kind of handsome looking, wearing a fedora, well dressed, sharp looking.
So I introduce myself with my injured arm. Can I do first aid? Yeah, can I first aid myself again or medicine?
No, not really.
Okay.
Blood is pouring out.
You're just going to have to kind of heal normally.
All right.
He introduces himself as Torrance Gearby.
Pleasure to meet you, Torrance.
And they take you inside. There's sort of this hangar area with these offices. And there's nobody else out here except for you guys. And sorry, hold on 1 second here. So these guys tell you that basically the plan is to let these others, your companions, know of your whereabouts at this airfield. And the plan is, depending on the situation, they want to confer with you guys too, what to do with the disc. And here's what they tell you, Lee. This other guy, Nick, Devlin calls him General, right? He introduces you. His name is Stanley Smith. He introduces you. He introduces himself as General Smith. And he tells you what they have found. He says they discovered this. Edgar Casey had discovered this manuscript. It's called the Sussex manuscript, and they found out that the manuscript was a handwritten copy of several large portions of a book called the Necronomicon. And once Edgar and Devlin had figured out exactly what this manuscript was, they started putting the pieces together about the Silver Twilight and what they were trying to do with this disc, and why they were trying to find it. And Devlin acknowledges, like the messages and stuff that he had sent to McBride, as well as the guns and everything. There was they found out about the disc itself when he was investigating the Look to the Future organization in New York.
Gotcha.
Which is where Edgar and Devlin had stolen. Well, Devlin stole the manuscript and some other books from the cultists that were there in New York. But here's what they have found out. They tell you that the disc is called the Disc of Relay. And Relay is a fabled island that lies sunken below the Pacific Ocean. And upon this island is this dark, monstrous god that the cultists call Cthulhu. And the Necronomicon and other sources in the manuscript, as well as other books that they have found, refer to this god Cthulhu as sleeping and waiting for the time when the time is right to rise out of his tomb and rule the world. So it's all very end of the world kind of stuff, General Smith says. But he says after further study and verification, we're quite certain that they need this disc and something called the Ark of Lactose. He says they only need but one piece of the disc.
Oh my God!
If they have, as far as we know, as far as we can tell, if you possess at least one part of the disc, you can replicate the other pieces.
Oh, we made it easier by making 4 pieces.
Yeah, through like a ritual process.
Interesting.
Wow.
So, of course, it's of utmost importance that we keep all pieces of the disc safe and hidden.
Yeah, we need to get hold of my friends immediately, so you can relay this information to them.
Yeah,
we can decide our next steps.
And really, what they're saying too is, the next steps would be trying to find the Ark of Lactose or prevent them from finding it.
Yep.
And
they also, America, man.
Yeah, and we have a lead on where that possibly could be.
Yeah, they also tell you that they know that something's going on with Easter Island, although they haven't been able to find anything specific.
Is Easter Island Riley? Or near it, or buried, or is that?
We don't know. We don't know what the connection is at this point. They seem very kind of befuddled and they don't know really anything about what's going on in Easter Island. All they know is just that communique from the materials that Devlin found that looked to the future in New York, they had just mentioned Easter Island, and that's all they know. They know that the cult was communicating about it. I believe it said still no results from Easter Island, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No results.
Yes. Well, our focus needs to get this piece safe.
Yep.
We have.
And then find this arc.
What's surprising to me is they only need one piece of it.
Yeah, that's a little messed up.
That's fucking scary, man.
Yeah, that's what Torrance and General Smith and Devlin believe anyway. That's what they've learned. And some of the things they refer to, Lee, the materials that they have that they've been studying, do ring a bell from the notes that you've read from Father McBride's notes. They also possess a copy of Nameless Cults, but in the original German, one of the more rarer copies. They also possess a couple of volumes of what they call the Revelations of Glauci, as well as the Sussex manuscript. Devlin proudly claims that he thinks that it's possibly the original and only version of this particular manuscript.
Really?
Which is translated, he says, from the Latin Necronomicon in like Middle English script. He says it's rather cryptic, but the general's quite good with the deciphering of some of these scripts.
Oh.
And Edgar, God rest his soul, had learned much of what he called the Aklo script, which he believed was the script used on the writings on the disc relay itself. And text carved into the Ark of Lactose. It's called the Aklo language.
And is that information for that language contained within the Sussex manuscript, or is it in the Necronomicon in general, or is that something he just deciphered on his own?
Well, he just apparently in his studies he realized that the script used on the disc and the Ark was something called Aklo. He called it a pre-Atlantean script.
Didn't some of our original characters have those old languages?
Some of them did,
Yeah.
Where's the doctor?
Edgar Casey had learned some Egyptian hieroglyphic stuff out of there. Let's see, Van Helsing. I think he may not have taken the time to do that, actually. I think it was Eusebius Braun.
Yeah, I think he had Atlantean, maybe.
Censar.
I think Crown and Shield learned something too, but I can't remember what it was.
Latin.
Possibly. I can find out real quick. No, I don't see anything. You see Eusebius and Casey. Devlin tells you that Casey had used Nameless Cults to help decipher the Aklo writings. This is where he learned of it.
Gotcha.
After escaping Brattleboro.
Yeah.
He says, unfortunately, his studies were cut short.
You don't say.
No. So, tell you what, guys, I think I'm going to cut the session just a little bit short. It's, I think, 11:30 your time.
Yep.
I think right about here would actually be a good time to stop it. You guys can discuss a little bit, like,
okay,
what the fuck is going on, or what are we going to do, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is Stuart Devlin or some. But then they sent us guns. I'm confused. They seem
man.
worried they're bad.
No, they were bad. They would. It wouldn't have happened this way. I'd be slapped out on a table. They'd be sticking needles in my eye.
You're right, Kyle. I think your group would be a little confused. I mean, the whole situation is very confusing. You guys, get hooked up with Father McBride. Lee, your organization receives a letter, a very powerful letter. It was also sent to the Pope, apparently.
Yep.
So this is like, big picture kind of shit. You guys show up in Cannich, with your Indian guide, big game hunter, who has done work for the church and stuff before. And then this lawyer, who's a friend of McBride. I mean, you guys are just kind of randomly kind of almost thrown into this. Corso, you maybe went into it maybe a little more knowing what to expect.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
But these other two guys, well, all three of you really, is everything that's happened within the last day or two is
Monumental.
world changing for
Yeah.
all of you, and it's almost too much to take in. So, and I would think that it would sort of manifest as confusion. You guys are just kind of like, really, like, what the hell is going on here? This is crazy. This can't be real, kind of a thing. But then meeting these guys and hearing what they have to say. I mean, they haven't met, Bear and Blackwood yet. But there's probably a lot to go over, plans to make.
Yep.
You've got the guys in Malta.
It was preordained we were going to meet this guy. We had to at some point.
Yeah, so like, even the notion of not trusting these guys, that might be just sort of an instinctual thing on the part of Bear too. That might be part of his personality. Like maybe he's not. Maybe when he meets these guys and Dr. Corso's like, hey, I met these guys and they're great. They know all about Cthulhu and the end of the world.
I think the thing is,
You're like, what?
Next time you send the Star Steeds after, maybe fucking send a note pen to their chest instead of
something.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm like, oh, and I also say, I'm also like, oh, hey, I'm alive. By the way,
Yeah.
I'm alive.
His arms in a sling.
Keeper Williams not
Oh,
clear with the communication. We need to work on our communication, gentlemen.
Yeah, Devlin did kind of apologize up and down to Dr. Corso. He's like, I kind of half thought that might happen, but we
Desperate measures.
we made
Desperate measures.
Decision.
Yeah, we
don't
made
have
the
to-
decision.
Desperate measures, desperate times. We understand.
Oh, well, I'm excited that Dr. Corso is still alive. My Indian
is.
tears,
He is.
roll back up my face and straight back into the tear ducts from whence they came.
Yeah, I'm happy to see those guys too. I thought I was dead for sure.
Yeah, there was a good stretch of this session where it was like, God damn, another lost investigator.
I know, dude.
With the tears, like, oh,
Yeah, dude.
poor Dr. Corso. This is terrible. What a nightmare.
I give him a hug, and then I punch him directly in the kidneys. Don't do that again.
Ride to the North Pole looking for him.
Yeah, we should just make it. We should make it like Corso shows up at the front door of Dr. McParlin's cottage, with his arm in a sling, kind of with a hat pulled down over his face, kind of half disguised and shit, and be like knocking on the door, like, "Hey, it's me. You won't believe what happened."
We aren't going to believe what happens.
So yeah. So yeah, this I would probably say let's play, but
No, you're right. You're right. This is a good place.
Yeah,
it's a good place to stop, just to kind of take it all in and think about next steps and
Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect.
how we can. I'd almost like to next session role play it a little bit about Dr. Corso showing up, and he'd probably show up with either Devlin or Smith or Torrance or maybe all of them. I don't know, and having a little discussion about what's going on and all that kind of stuff.
Little
That sounds
discussion.
good.
This is going to be a wide-ranging, big discussion.
Exactly.
Have like Bear's suspicion and distrust of the whole situation come out a little bit, like
Dark magic. This
how do
dark
you
white
know
man magic.
Yeah, how do you really know we can trust these guys? I don't like the look of his mustache.
I don't think that. I see the. No, I'll think of some good nature analogies.
Crazy white man.
He is distrustful like desert tarantula.
Right. Yeah. And even Blackwood too. He is an attorney, so he might be kind of like very kind of critical of the situation, everything that happened. But then again, man, you guys, I was kind of glad to see everybody make their sanity rolls like that, because that would have changed everything.
But I didn't make my sanity roll.
Well, you know what I mean.
You just happen to
I just have to roll really low on the D20. Woohoo!
That's super lucky. Because the
Yeah.
the 1d20 that can be devastating. We saw that with Dr. Van Helsing. That's kind of what sent him
Yep.
down the pipe off to private care was
I was just gonna say
skim-
that's what happened. I
skimming
remember.
the
Well,
necro.
that's what happened to. Isn't that what happened to Crown and Shield?
Yeah.
Well, that was a
Yeah.
D100. That was a 1D100 for seeing the
Yeah.
crawling chaos in all of its glory. But I think Van Helsing lost it from skimming the Necronomicon. It was 2D10.
Yeah, that's what it was.
He rolled 2 10s.
Yep, exactly. That was right. That was it. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then
That's right, 'cause I'd seen Nyarlathotep. I've seen everything, and I was like, no problem.
yeah,
I read the book. I'm like, oh.
right. He started liking loud noises and not liking crowds, and started getting really weird.
Bang, bang, bang.
All the cocaine didn't help.
Exactly.
So,
That's when
all
you know
right,
it's
guys.
gotten really bad.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, until next time, then.
See you
Yeah.
next week. That was
Yeah,
good.
great game.
I think we can call that the end of chapter 3.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
I
So
thought chapter 3 would be the death of many more characters.
you would think.
It could. Well, it very well could have been. I mean, except for some clutch die rolling, man.
Yeah,
Cannich, man. That fucking place.
Yeah,
Roads out of there are dangerous.
I agree. Two players went insane or are lost in this area.
Before we leave, we should burn that frickin' bar down to the ground.
Agreed.
What's the name of the bar?
The King's Head Inn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we
Burn
did
that place.
lose some. McBride and Grant escaped to Malta. Savastano died on his feet, more or less.
Yeah, after he
the old-
sprawled like Witch Hunter onto the stock of the gun.
Yeah, Savastano died in a blaze of glory. Van Helsing is getting private care in Belgium somewhere. Probably planning going back to the States and visiting his daughter, Pumpkin,
Sure.
in the Brattleboro retreat. Try to get some sanity back into his life.
Absolutely.
Dude, I want to see the awkward hug and reunion of Dr. Van Helsing and Pumpkin.
Especially when she asked me what happened to her baby.
We will. I really love how the rulebook lets you kind of visit family and go back to normal life for a while to gain some sanity back, and it actually encourages like role playing those meetings.
Cool.
Because there could be some dice rolls involved and stuff, and some bad shit can happen too. You know,
Yeah.
like maybe she forgets who you are or something crazy. Like, I can't handle that shit.
Or I look in the mirror by mistake.
Yeah, and then of course, Marshall Sparky Sparks died on the Hell Road.
Yep.
On the way back,
Another blaze of glory, kind of a thing.
another chapter 3 loss.
So yeah, we went
You
through.
guys all got sprayed with his blood.
Yeah, so we've had 8 investigators total just in chapter 3.
Yep.
That was a good,
Wow.
probably 8 or 10 sessions. Chapter 3 was. So things are going to get kind of critical and speed up to the end. And by the way, I put this piece of art in there too. Now that you guys know about Cthulhu, there he is. So the
Of the
Great
idol.
statue.
yeah, the big revelation of the story. Maybe make you guys lose some sanity for that. I haven't decided yet.
Nah.
Once you verify it. You know.
Did you hear the?
Right now, you guys are just kind of like, there's a what? Sleeping in a what? He's
in
gonna
response
do
to
what?
the riotous rabble. Raw. Hey.
We're probably fine. It's
Yeah.
good. It's fine.
Yeah, but it's going to get to a point where it's going to be like, well, you know what? You know, it's kind of either us or them. It's their way or our way, and you guys are just going to have to, rally, behind the battle cry to. It's the epic campaign to save mankind.
Yeah, it's a good one. Great game.
Cool. All right,
Anybody
guys.
can do it. You guys. You just might have to go through several more investigators.
Yeah. Time to roll up a backup character.
Yeah.
Although I'm liking Corso's chances. He survived one hectic, crazy, evil ordeal already. He's still
Yeah, and
alive.
he's good for the medicine, man. He's good
2
for the first
ordeals
aiding.
really, if you include Hungary.
It's true. Yeah. Have to include Hungry. That was a nightmare.
Yeah. So I think at this point, Lee, too, you've done away with some of your doses of the Dust of Suleiman.
Yep.
I think you
Gotta
probably
make.
have 1 or 2 left, something like that.
Yeah. Gotta get some more mummies.
Seemed quite ineffectual against the beasties that you guys have encountered so far.
Yep. Never know. Just gotta try.
Gotta try.
Yeah, and mummies are available, so I'll get some more and grind some up.
Yep. You can just buy mummies on the street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're everywhere.
Mummy dust! Get your mummy dust!
Yeah.
I'll check eBay.
Genuine mummy hand.
2 mummies for
There's so
1.
much mummy stock. We got to get rid of this mummy.
Dude,
2
we
for
have
1.
finger.
2 for 1 mummies.
Same fingers.
Sundays
mama.
only.
So yeah, you're gonna have to make some more of that stock. You never know when it might come in handy.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. You have a good night. We'll see you next
All right.
time.
All right, good night.
Good night,
Good game.
everybody. Yep.